Hey everyone, and welcome back to Coins Alert. This is Rich, making another movie about XRP today. As always, I hope everyone is having a great day today, no matter where they are in the world. XRP is what we'll talk about.
This is the one-day chart again.
Right now, we have $2.07 in our account. The market is going down a little right now. We even went below $2.10. For the past few days, our price has been going up and down between $2.10 and $2.20. However, today seems likely to be a volatile day. Pay attention to a few things. First, this positive XRP chart pattern shows up before the April 16th date set by the SEC. I thought that there would be no more filing. I thought they all agreed that there was nothing else to do and were just waiting for the committee to vote. That's what Eleanor Tourette and Brad Garlinghouse said. Ripple has to give its arguments against the SEC's appeal of a major court decision from 2023 on April 16th. The judge, Annalisa Torres, said that Ripple's automatic sales of XRP did not count as securities offers, a small but important win for the business. The statement by Ripple is an attempt to defend that decision, which could affect how XRP is regulated in the US. Will this be filed or not? We need to check back later. I think about it this way: no matter what happens today, I think this case is over because of what Eleanor Tourette and Brad said. Important tomorrow has a lot of high-stakes business events happening all day. 8:30 a.m. main sales in stores. March 8:30 a.m. sales in stores. 10:30 a.m. stocks of crude oil. 1:15 p.m. Powell, head of the Fed, talks. A lot of people keep telling me that Powell is going to cut interest rates quickly. There are some who say he won't cut rates and will instead talk about inflation going up. We won't know for sure until the guy talks. It looks like this will either be good for crypto or bad for crypto. We'll soon find out. The latest date is around the middle of October, and the earliest is in April or May. Is the case over? It doesn't really matter if the SEC approves the XRP ETF at this point. Different sources say that Atkins will okay these ETFs later this week, but I don't believe that will happen. It's not likely that this will happen until at least next week. It would be great if it happened sooner, but I don't think it will happen this week. And those are the time frames for the ETFs right here. It also has more than one time frame because there were so many filing dates. We need to wait and see what comes next. Analysts say that XRP is better than other investments because of two things. For the SEC to approve a spot ETF, they're saying that XRP has the highest average altcoin market depth of 1% on the biggest centralized crypto exchanges. This means that there are a lot of buy and sell orders close to the current market price, which helps keep the market stable. It's one of the most liquid because it has less sliding. For making structured, efficient goods, it's important to have a spot market that is very liquid. The past leaders of the SEC were very aware of this, the Kako analyst said in a report released Monday. In other words, they're saying that XRP is a better purchase all around. Solana has the second highest average 1% market share for altcoins. But this is how I see it. An important group of people who want XRP is the organizations, since they know what it can do. They understand why XRP is useful and how it can be used. They also know that it offers on-demand liquidity, is just completely changing the game. There are 7 good reasons to keep your XRP. This is from Edo Farina. The SEC versus Ripple case has been settled in court. That's going to be a big one, but I don't think it will affect the price of XRP. With that case over, Ripple and XRP can now move on with their lives, and institutions can start to use this coin. I think the real value will come after that case is over. The ETF's prospects are still waiting for prices to be found and the market to change. I'm looking forward to the XRP price going back up. I don't think it got better at all. I believe we still have a long way to go. Indeed, many would say that the present price of XRP should be between $8 and $13. I agree with that. Then you add all the growth and stories from the last 2 years. XRP is not worth nearly what it's worth. Alignment in politics and clarity in regulations. If anyone sells XRP before regulations are clear, they will deeply regret it, because clear regulations will help XRP more than any other coin. These cryptocurrencies that are based on usefulness will gain from new rules, the launch of RLUSD, and company growth. I also agree with that. I believe RLUSD has not yet gained enough ground. I believe it is still far too early to see RLUSD gain value. That should happen in due course. I also think that RLUSD will see a lot of growth as the year goes on. It will let XRP into a lot of new places. It will also add a lot of value to XRP. Top pundit thinks that XRP and Cardano are not getting enough attention right now. I already said that they are not well known enough. In the past few months, XRP has done better than the market as a whole. We do see price changes, but that's because we're still keeping an eye on Bitcoin. But XRP, it has a positive push-up every once in a while, even when Bitcoin isn't involved. I believe it is slowly becoming less connected to Bitcoin. There will be rules that really set XRP apart from Bitcoin, but it will take some time. Then you look at how the institutions have adopted it. But you should know that Cardano is another coin that is way too cheap. These all ISO-compliant cryptocurrencies are worth less than they really are. Any coin you look at right now that you think will be a part of the new money system is very cheap. All of them should cost a lot more. And I think once we finally get not only regulatory clarity for XRP but passive income choices. There are also choices for passive income that I think a lot of people will rush to get because XRP always said you could be your own bank and borrow and lend XRP. With Ripple XRP, SWIFT and the BIS Cross-Border Payments Task Force are no longer in the lead. This is going to happen, as I've said the whole time. Cross-Border Payments Task Force was picked up by the BIS. Ripple's XRP is at the forefront of a huge change in the crypto world and the world economy as a whole. When blockchain-based payment systems start to beat out old ones in terms of speed and efficiency, it marks a turning point in the history of cross-border transfers. They have been very important in coordinating world financial policy and new ideas among central banks for a long time. The BIS, which used to be led by SWIFT as its main payments task force, is an attempt to make international payments faster, cheaper, more open and easier to use. But as real-time payments become more popular, people will depend less on middlemen. International groups like the BIS are starting to see blockchain technologies like XRP and RippleNet as useful alternatives. You pay respect when the BIS says this is the future and will change the game. This is because the BIS is the central bank of all central banks. After that, they talk about on-demand cash and opening up the Nostro Vostro accounts, which would free up all $27 trillion. This is going to happen. Ripple is going to take more and more business from SWIFT, and the prices are going to get very high. We don't have far to go though, since this is already happening. We need to leave soon. We can say that the next 12 to 24 months will likely be very important for Ripple taking business away from SWIFT, since they are now beginning to show how they are different. Also, this is an interesting fact. It comes from smoke. Some people thought that SWIFT would buy Ripple at one point. A lot of people have joined and a lot of money comes in because you've been in the business for a long time. To make its services better, SWIFT might be able to buy up new tech companies like Ripple. Some people still think of Ripple as a startup, but I think it has grown a lot in the last 2 years. That chance that SWIFT could ever buy Ripple is, I think, gone. There's no longer any chance that that will ever happen. The most likely thing that would happen is that Ripple would buy SWIFT. I think that's where we're going now, because I've seen the growth happen over the last few years. I saw the rails being put together every single day outside of the United States. I mean, Ripple was told of its growth every day. Now I know that all of those lines will